Hey everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today we're going to be checking out our Atlas 40 volt chainsaw again, and I'm going to compare chains. I bought some aftermarket chains for it that should be a little bit more aggressive. This is already a fairly non-aggressive chain anyways, where this one actually has it's a 43 thousandths 3/8 pitch low profile chain, but also it is a low kickback chain. Some of these low profile chains, you know, the depth gauges on them are robust. Like it's hard to file them to get them to be able to sharpen the chain. So what I'm going to do is actually change the chain, but we're going to see how this one actually does. I just sharpened the chain on this, and we're going to do a couple runs with it with the factory chain, and then we're going to switch off to the aftermarket chain and see which one works the best and see if it speeds up the cut time on this 40 volt saw. So let's jump into it and check this thing out. So I hope the wind's not too bad. Man, it has been blowing like crazy today. And it's nice and warm, but the wind is just going nuts. But hey, that's just the weather change coming in. Hopefully it'll be not looking for the extreme heat of summertime, but I am looking forward to all these nice, pretty warm spring days like today, and you can get out in short sleeves and enjoy the day. But anyways, guys, this is a little oak log. It's about 7 inches across the narrow side and about 8.5 across kind of the oblong side. Average 7.5, 8 inches, and it's pretty much the same size all the way through there. And what we're going to do is we're going to make 3 cuts. We're going to go down, up, and then back down, and we'll time each one. First one's going to be with the factory chain. Then we're going to switch, and I got this 810 chain off of Amazon, and I bought 2 of them, and they were like 2 for $21 or something. So we're also going to see how these work. They're supposed to be pretty good according to the reviews, but we're going to check it out. This is a 810 16 inch. Again, the size is a 43 thousandths 55 links 3/8 low profile semi chisel chain. So we do have a fully charged battery in our saw, and let's give this thing a cut. And y'all are gonna have to time this. I might be able to put a timer on it. I've never done that before, so y'all can count and see what it takes. But we're gonna go down, up, and then back down. Wow, pull the battery out for safety. Like I said, I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna change this chain. We're gonna put the new one on there, and I'll show you the difference in the look of them here in just a minute. But let's get this thing changed out and see if it makes any difference in it. So check this out, the way that these things are made. If you notice where your tooth is at, your depth gauge has actually got 2 rakers in it. And I mean, they've got a lot of area, like it takes up a lot of space. So when you try to sharpen this, it's really hard to get that depth gauge really to go down. And it seems like a lot of these low profile or low kickback chains are set up this way. But this one has your standard raker on it and your standard tooth. It's still a low profile, but that seems to make them just a hair more aggressive, or at least easier to make them, you know, get them sharper and use your files and stuff on them, and then be able to take your depth gauge down without too much hassle. While I'm at it here, guys, I'm gonna make sure that my bar is cleaned out so that oil can get to my chain. You see the difference in the length of that chain? The long one is the Harbor Freight 16-inch chain. The one on the top is the brand new one, that 810 brand. And it's supposed to be a 16-inch chain, but you can see that it's a good quarter inch to a half inch shorter than the factory chain, and it will not go on the chainsaw. I don't know if that's just a defect of this one chain, or whether they're all that way, or what. I'm gonna mess around with it for a few more minutes and see if I can get it to get enough adjustment. The adjustment on the saw is as short as it'll get. So I don't know if we'll be able to use this or not. So after some serious fighting and wrestling and aggravation, I finally got that thing on there. I loosened the chain tensioner all the way as loose as it would go, and I ended up putting the saw in an area where I could push pressure on it, and I had to push the bar back, and I was barely able to squeeze it on there. So hopefully it'll stretch just a little bit and kind of loosen up, because right now even, it's actually probably a little tighter than what it should be, and it's as loose as it can go. So I'm not real happy with that about the chain, but this test is more on the saw with a good cutting chain on it, so we're going to try it out and see how it does anyways. Now again, we're going to go 3 passes, 1 down, 1 up, and back down. Wow. All right, so you can definitely feel that there's more vibration, on the saw from the teeth chewing into the wood, but it definitely feels like it's faster. And you can definitely kind of feel the little more aggressiveness in the chain. And you can also see that, the chunks that are coming out of it are definitely, more, a little bit bigger chunks. Even though it's still a 3/8 pitch low profile, I definitely believe that the raker difference, and like being able to sharpen the chain properly will make a huge difference. I know that the other chain is actually sharpened properly. I'm not going to say I'm not a professional by no means, but I definitely have some experience sharpening chains, and all my other saws, I don't have any problems or complaints about, whenever I sharpen a chain, it getting the right edge and stuff on it. So I definitely say it's a fair comparison to like a stock sharp factory chain versus the aftermarket chain, but just a hair more aggressive. And I definitely think I like it better. It does pull down or pull on the saw a little bit more, so you can stall it out a little bit easier. But man, I like it. It seems to put out some serious chunks. But the main thing is, how long will the chain last? And you can see just from that run, it actually is stretching already just a little bit, which is kind of good. But man, it was a bear getting the chain onto the saw. This chain is definitely shorter than what the factory chain is, but is this chain standard length, or is it shorter than, like, say, an Oregon chain or something like that? So I just wanted to do that quick little comparison today on the stock chain versus an aftermarket chain, and see if there was that much of a difference between that low kickback design and even just a standard 3/8 pitch low profile chain. And it definitely felt like there was. So when we go back, I'm gonna see if I can put a timer on these and see how long they actually took to go through, and see if there was a difference. It definitely felt like there was. But also, guys, stick around, because there's going to be many, many more tests on these. I've got 2 batteries now. I did a video on the 80-volt version, and it actually didn't take very long for it to get hot and shut off. But I'm pretty sure it was the battery shutting off. So now I've got 2 batteries, and I'm going to try switching them out and see if I can keep the saw going to kind of keep production going, and then see how long that lasts. I actually was going to do that today, but it is so windy, I did not want to get out in the woods and cut down a tree or even try, because we're having gusts of wind, you know, 30 and 40 and sometimes 50 miles an hour. So I definitely didn't want to get out there and just put myself in danger on that. But that will be coming up. Plus, on this saw, I'm going to run and see how long a battery will last, just sawing up, you know, tree limbs or whatever. I've got a project coming up around my field. I've got 14 acres of hay field, and it's all fenced off, and I'm going to go through and cut back all the tree limbs, at least back to the fence, maybe a little bit farther. And it's going to be a combination of using these battery saws and using my battery pole saw, kind of showing the benefits of having that. Just a quick example of that: if you've got your saw on your tractor, you have to get it started, you get it warmed up, you know, then you use it. And then once you cut your tree limbs and stuff, then you've got to move up to the next section, and you shut the saw off, you move up there, then you have to pull start it again, and it's just right on and on. You have to turn it off, pull start it, turn it off, and just back and forth. So that can get aggravating, but if you've got one of these, it's just on and off with the trigger, and you don't have to ever pull start it. But the question is, will the battery last long enough to actually go around, you know, enough of the field to actually get some production out of it? So we're going to find out. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching today. If you like videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up button, share them with everybody you know, hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.